on! Good morning, folks. Welcome to the podcast. We've been away for a couple of weeks, but we're back again.
We're back.
And we're ready to go. And we got information, and so we're going to do that. One of the things I want to mention is one of the things I want to drift to in a little bit of time is more discussion about mental health. And right now on the news, there is a very bad thing that occurred, and that's because of the laws of this country, and what people think they know about mental health.
Which bad event are we
Which
talking
event
about?
are we talking
So
about?
many.
It's been a week.
It's been a week. Which bad event are we talking about?
The killing that happened.
The Brown University shooting or the Bondi Beach shooting?
He's talking actually about Rob Reiner's son killing him.
Or Rob Reiner.
Rob Reiner.
Okay, just kidding. Sorry, not the first two.
No, but those are very impactful.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad stuff going on.
A lot of bad stuff.
Is the Bonnie Beach the Australian?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
A lot of things that
crazy.
should not be mentioned is the killings, and that's where the media makes a huge mistake, because the research shows that within about a week there'll be a redo.
A redo.
It'll happen again.
Not the same thing, but another one. That's where killings have been going on. So they haven't stopped it. There's been a few sheriffs that had said, no, I'm not saying the name or the place or what happened. And so that's the way. Anyway, here's some a few things that I drummed up. Which could be answered in a very short amount of time, if you want, or a very long time. Who? No, I'm not going to read all that.
No, I was just saying, how many of these do you have?
I only had 6.
Okay.
In case.
Mark, yeah, he's at the dentist.
Yeah, or the dentist might want one too. Who will?
When will the U.S. be primarily socialist politically?
Yeah. Got any opinions there?
Shelby.
Oh boy, I mean, right now we have a group of people that have done very well for themselves in this country, and a lot of that is due to the technologies and the economy that they've driven to the United States, right? So you have a very small group of people that have benefited greatly from those innovations.
Yeah.
What has happened is that you have the majority of people that live at or below the poverty line. I think it's something like a huge amount of wealth is controlled by the top 20%. Yeah, I think I mean, if you really break it down, it's
definitely
it's
swayed.
insane.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen is that the people all being able to vote are going to try to take the wealth from the top and put it back at the bottom. I think the problem that we are going to see is that the government is not the answer to do that. Because what's happening is you're seeing a lot of these big states and cities that are scaring businesses out of the big social hubs into places that are more tax beneficial for those entities. And what's going to happen is you're not going to be able to inspire business in these big populated areas because the taxes are forcing people out. You know, right now California is essentially talking about putting on a 5% billionaire tax. And, 5% doesn't seem like much. $1 billion is a lot of money. For any layman, sure, why not? That makes sense. The problem is that now the government is essentially allowed to go and take private property
Yeah.
based on those tax laws, which is not right? That is social tendency if you're
That's
just
Robin
basically
Hood
going to be
shit.
giving that money to the government. And
Yeah.
we've seen time and time again, the government
Isn't doing well with the
isn't
money.
efficient with the money that they're spending.
They are not.
So I think we're going to continue to see socialist ideology because there's so many people that are struggling just to get by. And with the way inflation is hitting everything, the grocery store, me getting a hotel this weekend at a sleepy little town on the coast costing $200 seems like too much money.
200 a night.
Too much money. And like meals, 25 bucks?
And
like,
and that is cheap, Dad.
Yeah.
That's what's going on. That is actually very cheap hotel room, and that's wrong.
Yeah.
yeah, and that's with a discount. That's
Yeah.
with the hospital discount that I was
Yeah.
gifted.
Not
So
for this kid.
And each plate of food being $25 a piece,
Yeah.
and then you've got taxes on top of it. Then you've got gas that's $4 a gallon, and you've got
It's
It
and
doesn't ever
it goes
stop.
state by state too. You know, Washington State is quite honestly a very difficult state to do business in.
it is very
Yeah.
expensive. To
It's a
live
very
there.
expensive state. And I would understand it if our roads were great and our programming was great.
If we didn't have bridges going
And
out
we didn't
every
have
week.
bridges going out every week, but there is some mismanagement of funds happening here in this
Yeah.
state.
Absolutely.
agreed. Agreed. And you see it everywhere. I mean,
Yeah.
that's why I was like quietly hoping that, Elon saying, "Hey, let's go in and make some efficiency happen in the government." I was for it in the beginning.
Yeah.
Then some
Until it
things
turned
come
into
out
something
where
it
you're like,
wasn't.
Yeah.
probably shouldn't have got rid of all the air traffic controllers, guys. Probably
Bad
should have
idea.
thought about that.
Yeah.
So like they didn't do it well, but I do think that this country is really going to have to focus on being more efficient in the dollar spend. And as much as it's as disheartening as it is to see a handful of people make billions and billions of dollars, if they're able to redistribute that wealth in a way that's not predatory,
Yeah.
I think there's a way through it, right?
Yeah.
But that's all that people see. They just see the predatory side.
Exactly.
And when you have that much money, I don't know, for some reason, the people who have a lot of money, keep it PG. But the people who have a lot of money just
Right.
want more money.
Mm-hmm.
And so then they use their money to make more money, which does not benefit in the
Those are
underclass
plus money.
people.
It comes down to something that none of us can fix, and that's the human spirit, right? It comes down to that. And there are some billionaires out there that are huge givers in their
Oh, for
community.
sure.
You know,
Oh,
there
yeah.
are. However, I don't think they're the common. But it comes down to something as simple as we are a creature of greed. We just absolutely are a creature of greed. And that is very hard to curtail. That's one of the reasons why when I won that football pool, I will not be spending that money on myself. Because I understand that we are creatures of greed, and that would make me hungry for the next one. Instead, I'm taking 4 of our grandkids, the older ones, and I'm buying diapers, food, and stuff like that. I'm not going to get it done before Christmas because I got to thinking, is the need there only during the holidays? And the answer is no. It's actually, the need is
After.
pretty fulfilled during the holidays. It's after the
There's a
holidays.
huge uptick right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've got flooding and we've got this and we've got that. So, no, I'm not in a rush to get it done. My point is, it's that give back that the socialist piece should live within us. We should still be allowed to go and be successful on our own. But it's the
What-
socialist in us that gives back.
What does that remind you of, as you describe it?
A socialist, not
Do
capitalism.
what description of what exactly?
What kind of a government does that remind you of?
A socialist
Are
government?
you saying communism? Are you
Well, we're talking about,
drifting
like-
towards communism?
Well, there's another one too.
Or it's the one that they use out of, like, what is that one they use in England?
How about Robin Hood?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the kings in the castles.
Yeah, steal from the rich,
and
give to the
serfs
poor.
and all that,
Oh,
you
we all
know.
wish we could be
Yeah.
Robin Hoods.
Well, and I think like socialism has been deemed a bad word by many, right? You watch these
And it's not.
politicians and like, oh, socialism is the worst. We already have socialist tendencies in our
Absolutely.
society. Like that's why we have unemployment
Mm-hmm.
law and we have food stamps for people that are
Just
on
gets a
hard
bad
times.
name.
Like,
It does.
so, I mean, you can't write off like, hey, let's take all the socialist ideology and dump it, because that's not good either, right? And then it's a kill or be killed world, and that's not a place anybody wants
No.
to live. So I think as you see the majority of people slip to this poverty line or whatever the average income is and below, you're going to see more socialist ideology come out. And it may be what the Democrats run on in the next cycle. You know, I think there's a couple of things that we need to fix. Healthcare. Nobody in this country should be one health scare away from being
No,
bankrupt.
nobody.
And that's how our system is currently set
Yep.
up. Housing is another huge issue in our
Housing
society.
crisis.
They gotta fix housing. So I think if they attack those two things specifically, the whole world gets a lot better. Because the housing is completely backwards right now. You essentially have people that are holding on to land asset that is increasing in value and basically buffing their net worth, allowing them to retire.
Who's this smart
The
guy
problem
talking
is those same people don't want to let new housing into their area.
Yeah.
You have a beautiful piece here. You would never want them to put an apartment building 3 blocks down, right?
That's
So what
not where you're
incentivizes you, the homeowner, to lobby for that? It doesn't work. So how do you get affordable housing in an area like ours?
You don't.
You don't. You don't, because you
You
can't just
don't.
seize property. You
And
can't
it's not.
seize
It's not
property.
even like it's. Speaking as somebody who is currently looking at buying,
Yeah.
you can't buy a modular home for less than. And I'm not talking about like the trailer, like in a trailer park, but like
Talking about a nice modular,
a nice
double.
modular home for less than like $450,000.
Yeah, and that's
that's
wrong.
outrageous to me.
Yep.
Like I can't
On a 20, 30-year note.
on a yes
On a 30-year note.
yes
30 years you're going to be paying.
The fact that we are even entertaining a 50-year note is
Well,
mind.
the money does not work.
The
The
money does not work.
at 50
it
years.
doesn't
Yeah.
and also like a 30-year-old buying a house on a 50-year note, they're not going to be done paying it off until they're 80.
Yeah.
Like, is that realistic? Or is it that you will just owe the bank money at the end and it'll lower your retirement? Is that the point?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
So-
you know, and to speak to that, you know, you're not going to ever be able to live. You know, the idea that their generation started that bled into my generation, that we're hopefully stopping that view for your generation, is own your home when you retire. That ain't going to happen. Period. End of
No.
story. The reason you're not going to own your home is you may have paid the bank off.
Your interest is out.
But your
Yeah.
your property taxes are going to haunt you
Oh, that's true. I didn't
for the
think
rest
about
of your
that.
life.
Yeah.
My husband and I will forever have a mortgage, even
Yeah.
when this house is paid off.
Because
And it
property
is a
taxes.
steep one.
So last thing before we move on to socialism, because I see there's more here, but like Washington is considering a tax on any income at $125,000 or more.
Really?
Yes.
What
I,
kind
I
of
don't know if
tax?
it's in like the city. I don't know if it's.
The
But essentially, what's gonna happen is if they do attach that to anybody $125,000 or more, is you are essentially going to see these corporations. You're going to see
Leave.
Microsoft gone. You're going to
Leave.
see Amazon gone.
Gone.
You're going to see any Boeing. See you later. Like,
Yep.
because those are good corporate paying jobs
Yep.
that are penciling to that amount. Now, whether there's a stock package or however they're going to figure out what that wealth actually is, but if that does come to pass, it's going to get a lot tougher for those cities to survive.
$100,000 or $125,000 feels like to me a lot of money.
It's not.
It is not
It
a
is
lot of
not.
money today.
Yeah,
It is not.
We wish it was.
yeah.
$125,000 a year is survivable money,
Yeah.
not posh.
It's not allowing you to shove a bunch of money into retirement, to be honest.
Or to have a car payment, a house payment, groceries,
Bills.
bills,
Any student
your
loan
deductibles, student loan payments. It's not allowing for that. So that is very scary thought.
Yeah.
You're basically just keeping people in a system where they're just beaten down. That's crazy.
And I think that's the third.
This
That's
is
the
crazy.
third thing they have
the
to
beaten
attack
down.
is the student loan. The student loans and the way that we did it in this country essentially turned into I don't want to call it a Ponzi scheme, but it's a whole bunch
It
of smoke
is.
and mirrors with all these big universities.
It
For the
is.
government to back any private loan that's not going to pay off long term is ludicrous. Because if you want to go into underwater basket weaving, you're never going to pay off that $200,000 tuition. Never going to happen. So the fact that the government got involved on, everyone go to school, everyone get education. It sounds great on paper. In reality, you're crippling the younger generation with debt.
Yeah.
Yep.
And for a while, I thought, okay, you take the debt, you pay off the debt, that's what you should do. But now we're in a situation where, like, those loans never go away. Like,
Yeah.
you can't hide them in bankruptcy.
No.
You can never get out from underneath them.
No,
Like,
you're there.
there may be a time that the government actually comes in and waives all that student debt, and I didn't think it was. I mean, we did our part. We got ours paid off. So, like, I'm
Yep.
a little bit, I'm
people don't
talking
like
my own
that,
book a little
yeah.
bit. But at the same time, like, if it's going to cripple this next generation and not being able to use their capital to invest in their future, then it needs to change.
Well,
Yes.
I keep seeing like social media posts about people who are in their 30s. And they're like, I've been paying for 10 years.
Yep.
I've been paying on my student loan for 10 years. We put $1,200, it's like two people. We put $1,200 a month towards student loans for 10 years. And my balance 10 years ago was $200,000. My balance now is $225,000.
Yeah.
How does that make sense?
Yeah.
Predatory
pretty good.
debt.
Yeah.
You'll never
Yeah.
be able to get
that
out from
does
underneath
not
it.
make any sense to me.
No.
So
And
Mark
Not
just
a-
read
not a
something
lick.
about Washington State too. That I hope I don't mess this up, but they are going to attempt, and it might be part of that
Yeah, it
deal.
could be.
They're going to attempt to make minimum wage now.
20 something?
No, to where it's like $80,000 a year in Washington State.
Oh my god, inflation.
And ask Mark about that. But it's something about $80,000 a year, and there is no. It has to do with salaried employees. Our company will close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same.
Our company will close.
Yeah.
That's just the facts. If we have to pay everybody at least $80,000 a year when the owner isn't even getting
Right.
$80,000 a year,
Right.
we will
Yeah.
close.
Yeah.
So look at McDonald's. Look at all these people. Look at Amazon even. Everyone will close. So Ferguson, for example, he's a
People think
lawyer.
about that. People think about that. Like, how can you say I want to make minimum wage $80,000 a year, but I don't care if companies close? How can you?
How
like,
can you do
don't-
that?
you
We
don't
also
know.
saw a receipt just recently that had these different things on there that was dishwashing fee, table cleaning fee.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah, all these fees. It was an additional $8 on the tab. But they are hoping that when they hand you the receipt, you just go
not
boom
looking.
and then you tip off the number. Do not.
Oh no.
You know,
That's
they start
crazy.
hitting you with all that shit. Guess what?
Yeah.
I'll pay the bill and walk away.
Here's the next one is, will we
He's
be
very interested in what we have to say.
able to achieve a balanced system like Sweden has?
Yeah, but I think that's what we were just talking about. The answer is no.
Well,
Not right now.
Why
Not
not?
with-
Not unless those changes come. Those
Yeah.
changes
I
have
mean-
to come, and
They
that
have
may
to
be
come by
that may be what the Democratic Party
Yeah.
runs on. However, I don't have confidence in the Democrats, the Republicans, nobody. We need somebody to come in and run for president that is nonpartisan
Yeah.
and just say, "I'm here to stop the shit. I want your vote."
Yeah.
Run on that. Have that be your tagline. I'm here to stop the shit. Billy Bob for
That should be it.
president.
I guess I'm not familiar enough with Sweden. So do you have any more information on that? What Sweden did?
They're a socialist country, are
They're
they not?
socialist.
No,
Well,
no, they're a double country. And I get my information from, I watched a professor from Oklahoma, I think at University of Oklahoma, and great courses, and he was comparing things like the capitalist and the communist and Sweden,
Socialist.
all these countries, he's comparing them. And what he came up with was that Sweden probably had the most balanced uh, government that they did. They produced planes during the war. I didn't know that, but they produced planes during the war. We didn't produce all the planes. Anyway, they part of their economy is based on capitalism, building planes or whatever, and selling them to countries, and part of it is based on the government, which when you speak of putting money aside for retirement, why do you need to? See, that's the thing about it. Thing that has that socialist end of things. That it has the retirement already in there for you. The tax base is taking care of that. You don't have to pony up all your money to put it into questionable stocks and things like that.
The Swedes, though, are a lovely people. They are a lovely people, and they have been. Somebody Google real quick. How long has Sweden been a country? Right? How long have they been their own place?
Longer than we have.
Hell of a long time. And I think the difference there, Dad, real quick, is that the Swedes take care of their elderly, the Swedes take care of their young, and the Swedes take care of each other. I have heard multiple times that Sweden is a lovely, lovely group of people. I'm sure they have their jerks, right?
Oh yeah.
How many?
They've been a
2 or 3 anyway.
they've been a sovereign state for about 1,000 years.
Yeah.
We
So-
are not even. What are we just?
No, yeah, we're 250 years old.
We're
So
babies. No
you
babies.
get that 250-year-old little baby country that knows it all.
We
Okay.
are the knew it all.
And we are the little baby, and we have trained our people that for retirement you need a house here, here, and here.
Yeah,
You need to have your house paid off. You don't really need to worry about the older people in the community because they end up frickin' moving in with their kids and killing them. But anyway, you know.
If we're
Yeah.
doing full
Yeah,
circle
let's
here.
Hey, full
wrap
circle.
back on that. Oh my goodness.
But it's
Yeah.
the truth. The
Doesn't
Swedes
say
take
that.
care of their elderly and put them in situations where they are involved socially, and they are involved with multiple. The responsibility of the elderly and the responsibility of the youth lies within everyone. Here it doesn't happen that way. The responsibility of the elderly and the responsibility of the youth is typically falls on very few because we don't see it as important. And it is the most important.
Yeah.
That's why I don't understand why we don't put these guys and the babies together 5 days a week, loving on one another. It lifts them up. It educates the youth.
They do in China.
Well, that's China, yeah, but we're talking about Sweden here.
Yeah.
So they don't. I wish we knew more, and I wish we weren't such a selfish country. We are a selfish, self-centered group of people,
Well,
and that's sad. Because we got 3% of our country fighting to make sure that we can all sleep at night. Only 3% of our country is protecting us. And we don't even really lift them up.
No, when they get out, they're tossed on the streets.
Yeah, we don't lift them up. We don't hold them to the high esteem that they should be held. I don't care if you serve 4, 6, 2, or 20. You should be held in a high regard. If you ever gave any time to our country, your retirement should be done.
yeah.
And our youth and our elderly should be, and I think I would love to live in Sweden, I think.
Well,
I mean, how big is Sweden?
Not very big.
11 people?
11
Yeah.
million, maybe.
11 people.
I mean, so I mean, you're comparing 11 million to 300 million,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's
So we may need to break up this beautiful United States.
Yes, sir. We
Like,
may.
we may have to, and like
Because we are very polar opposite throughout this country.
very much so. Like, if you ever travel to the South,
It's bad.
it's way different.
Not bad, just way different.
Just different. Yeah,
Yeah.
different priorities.
There's no part
different-
that's bad.
No. But I
Well,
mean, would
I
they
mean, there's
take?
some bad.
I'll keep my inside thoughts to myself.
No, you can
I
say them
guess.
outside. No, it's true. It still exists everywhere.
Yeah.
The stuff that shouldn't
I
exist.
just feel as if
So, like, does crab wrestling exist anywhere in this country? Will crab wrestling be an international sport in the near future?
I'm gonna say no
Yes,
because I
it
don't
is.
know what that
How
is.
big are they growing the crabs?
Well, he wears a belt. It's his trophy from crab wrestling.
Crab wrestling.
So, yeah. I think crab wrestling probably could be a tough sport to
Recognize.
recognize, but then again, really, the Olympics. Let's throw it out there. It's
Bobsledding.
possible, Bob. I mean, let's throw it out there.
I mean, anything's possible.
They got
Anything's-
what
I
is
mean,
that? What was
break
that?
dancing.
Break dancing. That is. I did see all the break dancing. It's a
So,
sport. You
I think
never
we should
know.
poor
push
gal.
for crab. So write
Got
to your
roasted.
congressman
Yeah.
and tell them that we want crab wrestling
As an international sport.
as an international
It's
sport.
an international sport.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, and Dad, why don't you go ahead and say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, because we are taking a week off in between Christmas and New Year's,
Okay.
so we will see everybody back in January.
Yeah, you already said it. Well, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, behave yourselves, and love each other. That's what you should do, yes.
I love each other.
Awesome.
Bye.
They're back.